please introduce yourself to the court, spelling your last name for the record.
Hello, my name is Chase Covington. That's Covington.
Now, tell us about your position in the Midlands Gambling Commission.
Oh, well, as you probably heard today, I'm the head of the commission.
And what does the head of the Midlands Gambling Commission do?
Well, I have a variety of tasks. I check in on casinos, I make sure everything's running smoothly, that their licenses are up to date, things of that nature.
Do you know why you're in court today?
Yeah. Apparently they're accusing me of taking a bribe.
Did you take a bribe, Mr. Covington?
No, of course not.
Okay. Did you vote for Avery Bancroft's proposal?
Yes, I did, because of her experience, and I wasn't even the only one. My colleague did as well.
All right. I'd like to take you to April 16th. Would you mind telling me about that day?
April 16th, I had an early morning meeting with Shannon Stark, I believe. It was, oh gosh, sorry, it was so long ago. I think it was about 7:30 in the morning, and gosh, Shannon Stark, she showed up an hour late to the casino proposal discussion that we were going to have for her. An hour late. I couldn't even believe it. She was so unprofessionally organized. She didn't have any calculations, no revenues or expenses. All she wanted to talk about was money. That was the whole basis of her building this casino. Not to mention she had partnered with J.C. Longstreet, who had actually had a failing business as well. And they didn't even have the money that Ms. Bancroft had up front. Because Ms. Bancroft owns a casino already, she has a lot of income. She had to pull out different kinds of loans so she owned a whole bunch of money to other people just to build this casino that she felt that she already had or something. I don't even know.
All right. Now, by the time of the vote, how many proposals were left on the table for the commission?
There's two. There was the Avery Bancroft proposal and the one with the Shannon Stark and her partner, J.C. Longstreet, that I discussed.
Could you tell us a bit about Avery Bancroft's proposal?
Yes. Avery Bancroft introduced a smaller casino with less slots, things of that nature, but in the place that she had put it, it was much easier to tell that she was way more experienced in where she was placing it, how she was going to run it, what she needed to provide for the community so that everyone would have an economic benefit.
Okay. So on April 17th, which proposal did you vote for?
On April 17th, I voted for Avery Bancroft because she had the most experience.
All right. Now, earlier in trial, there was mention of a napkin. Would you recognize that if I were to show it to you today?
Yeah.
You're on permission to retrieve the napkin to the bench. Commissioner Approach the witness in turn. Now, do you recognize this napkin?
Yeah. This is probably the scariest moment of my life.
Would you mind telling us about that moment?
Well, so it was April 13th, I believe, and I was at the meeting. Avery Bancroft was there, so was Mickey Keenan, and we started talking about the proposal. Avery Bancroft started bringing up the square footage, everything that you would expect to hear in a meeting about a proposal. When all of a sudden, Mickey Keenan grabbed this napkin and gave it to Bancroft and whispered something, and then all of a sudden there's this napkin in front of me. It said yes equals 150K, and I didn't have any idea what to do. I was just so blown back that I just gave it back to him. I was like, I don't know. I didn't think they understood what kind of position to put me in, because I can't. Like this was basically a bribe they were telling me to take, and I didn't want any part of it, so I just gave it back.
Okay. What happened after that?
Well, after that, Mickey Keenan whispered into Avery Bancroft's ear again, and she crossed out the 150K, the 250K, and slid it back to me. And once again, I was in absolute panic. When all of a sudden there was a knock at the door, which was Devin Del Sesto, who testified earlier, and I just freaked out, so I just put it in my pocket as quickly as I could, so, I don't know, try to get rid of the evidence or something. I just didn't know what to do.
Okay. And what happened after you left this meeting?
Well, I went home. That's about it. It was a pretty standard night.
Let's talk about the day of the vote. So you voted for Avery Bancroft's proposal.
Yes, on April 17th, I stopped by the bank. Yeah, I stopped by the bank before I went to the vote so that I could just deposit some winnings I had collected over the years because over for the past weeks I have been collecting money from the casinos because I gamble often. It's part of me checking in on stuff. And then I got to the vote. Uh, that's when there was lots of press, lots of people there to see who was going to get this new 10-year proposal license. We went back, we voted, we came out. Everyone was cheering. There was lots of cameras, interviews, stuff like that, and I wanted to congratulate Avery Bancroft, so I went up to her and I asked her if she would like to have a celebratory dinner with me on the 19th.
What happened with this dinner?
Well, we had dinner. It was me, Avery Bancroft, Walton Geese, who were also on the commission.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance as to what happened on April 19th after the bribe.
Your Honor, if I may respond?
You may.
But I also may make an offer of proof. The prosecution has entered a briefcase into evidence the picture that show where the fingerprints are located on the briefcase, but we have no context as to when those fingerprints were put on it. It's imperative that the jury understand the context with which the fingerprints were put on that case.
Your Honor, I stand by my objection as they're going towards the arrest date when the briefcase was already obtained.
Overruled. You may ask a question.
So what happened at this dinner?
So those 4 people were there. We had a lot to drink. It was a lot of fun. We had lots of jokes. And then I think when I left, I picked up Avery Bancroft's briefcase, and before I could even get out of my chair, I had some brand new shiny handcuffs on me, and it's so aggravating because what I had in my briefcase, I had my tablet, some important commission files, and they're just gone. I don't have any clue where they are.
Thank you. This time, Your Honor, we have no further questions.
Thank you. Cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Covington, your office released a memorandum detailing Avery Bancroft and Shannon Starr's casino proposals in April 2015, correct?
Yes, they did.
You'd recognize that memo if I showed it to you in court today?
Yes, we looked at it for quite a while. Hope I remember it.
Let the record reflect when approaching opposing counsel, states opposing to the 5.
No
Approaching
questions, Your
witness.
Honor?
You may.
May I provide the bench a copy for reference?
Thank you.
Mr. Covington, this is a fair and accurate representation of that memo, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
And it has your name and the seal for the state of Midlands on it?
Yes, it's on the head.
Your Honor, at this time, I move to admit states opposed to the 5 in evidence.
Your Honor, at this time, I would object to hearsay, as these are not the statements of Chase Covington, and therefore they're not allowed under the exception to part of.
May I respond, Your Honor?
You may.
If I can direct your attention to this second sentence that begins with "we now." It says, "We now pursuant to Midlands law requiring a summary of proposals and public comment on these proposals. Therefore, this document was written pursuant to Midlands law." If I can direct your attention to Rule 803-8, the record of public record, one of the criteria for meeting the hearsay exception is having a legally obligation to do to report. Therefore, it is admissible in court today.
And that, along with the fact that the witness has indicated participation in the writing of the proposal, the court will overrule it.
Yes, sir.
The exhibit is admitted as state's 5.
And Mr. Covington, your office released this for public feedback, correct?
Yes, on April 6th.
So anything that the public might want to know would be in this document, right?
Yes, for the most part.
Now, I understand you might have opinions about the information in this document, but I just want to look at some facts right now. Is that reasonable?
Sounds plenty good to me.
So according to this memo written on your behalf, Avery Bancroft's casino is going to be smaller than Shannon Starr's.
Yes, like I said before.
Avery Bancroft's casino is going to have fewer gaming tables than Shannon Starr's.
With a smaller casino, yeah, smaller stuff inside.
Avery Bancroft's casino is going to have fewer slot machines than Shannon Starr's.
As I just said, less stuff.
Shannon Starr's casino had a full-service salon.
Yeah, which was kind of weird. Why would you need a salon at a casino?
Shannon Starr's casino had a day spa.
It's kind of strange things at a casino.
Shannon Starr's casino had a sports bar.
Yep.
And Avery Bancroft's had none of those things.
at what a casino needs.
And finally, you would agree with me from this document written on your behalf that the economic benefits of Avery Bancroft's casino were expected to be lower than those of Shannon Starks.
Oh, yeah. Well, this was released on the 6th of April. And in the meeting with Shannon Stark, she said that she was going to bring me the calculated version of this because it says right here, economic benefits to the local area have not been calculated. So this is almost just an assumption in our office. And so when I met with when I met with Avery Bancroft, she actually brought me those actual calculations, and it was said that hers had more economic benefit.
Mr. Covington, this is the most recent updated version of the memo you released to the public, isn't it?
This is the only one we released on April 6th.
This is the only one that you released, and it states, going back to my question, that the economic benefits of Shannon Stark's proposal were going to be greater than those of Avery Bancroft's.
Yes,
Simply
from April 6th, yes.
And according to this document, the financing for Shannon Stark's proposal was secured through Midland Savings and Loan, correct?
Yes, as I said, they needed different loans to pay for the casino.
And you would say that Avery Bancroft's experience played into your decision, right?
Yes, she already owns one casino, why not a second?
But Avery Bancroft had that experience before you met with her in a private hotel room, didn't she?
I mean, yes, but I wanted to see her experience firsthand.
Now, Mr. Covington, I want to talk about that meeting a little bit. It was at this meeting where Avery Bancroft offered you a bribe, didn't she?
Which day, the April 13th meeting?
The April 13th meeting.
Yeah, that's when she brought out this napkin, which I don't even like to talk about it, I just get chills all the time, my hands are already shaking just thinking about it.
You would describe that meeting as the scariest moment of your life when she passed that napkin to you.
Yeah,
Now, Mr. Covington, you do recall emailing Mickey Keenan about that meeting afterwards, don't you?
yes, I do.
You'd recognize that email if I showed it to you in court today?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach and retrieve documents that have been in evidence, states to? May I approach witness? Mr. Covington, I just handed you the email you sent to Officer Keenan after that meeting, correct?
Yes.
It's a fair and accurate version of that email?
Yes, from what I was told in court.
Now, I'm going to read this, and I just want you to tell me if I read anything incorrectly. You wrote to Officer Keenan, I'm much more on board with the possibility of letting Avery have another casino than I was before the meeting.
Yes, it does say that.
And finally, at the end, it says, Avery seems to be willing to find a solution that is beneficial to all of us. That's promising.
Yes, I did say that.
Your Honor, may I approach and retrieve State 52 and the bench? So, Mr. Covington, I want to get some things straight. The meeting after that Avery Bancroft offered you that bribe on a napkin, you were more on board with the possibility of voting for her, weren't you?
Well, see, after that meeting with the napkin, I had actually met with Avery Bancroft again without Mickey Keenan and Corey Hyde, and we had talked about that, and that's why I sent that to Mickey Keenan.
But didn't you just say that Mickey Keenan wasn't at that other meeting?
Yes, he wasn't at the
He
second
wasn't
meeting
at the
we had.
second meeting we had on that day.
Yes, the one
And
that I
yet
was
you
referring
emailed
to.
him about the
I was
April
referring
13th
to
meeting.
the meeting that we had, not with him in it, but I was letting him know, because he had asked me later on, how did your day go, about talking about the meetings with Ms. Bancroft, and she said, and so I sent her that in that, I'm sorry.
Fair enough, Mr. Covington. Now, you recall emailing Avery Bancroft and Corey Hyde the next day on April 14th, don't you?
Yeah,
You recognize those emails if I showed it to you in court today?
yeah, I think so.
Let the record reflect I'm approaching opposing counsel with state's proposed exhibit 6. May I approach the witness?
No objection to the authenticity of the document, Your Honor.
May I provide the bench a copy for record? Thank you. Now, Mr. Covington, this is a copy of the email exchange between you, Avery Bancroft, and Corey Hyde, isn't it?
Yes?
It's a fair and accurate copy of that email exchange.
Yeah, I think so. That's
You
a long
recognize
time
the
ago.
email addresses in this to be your own Avery Bancroft and Corey Hyde's, correct?
Yep.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to admit exhibit 6 into evidence.
Objection to hearsay, that's the statements of Corey Hyde, Your Honor.
I respond, Your Honor. Corey Hyde makes clear in this document that he is planning a meeting with Chase Covington, which is an exception to hearsay under Rule 803.3. He specifically planned. And regardless, we're not offering Corey Hyde's statements to prove the truth of the matter asserted, though they are an exception to hearsay. We're simply focusing on Avery Bancroft and Chase Covington's statements in this document.
Further discussion?
Your Honor, if they're going to not pursue the statements of Corey Hyde, then we will allow it to come through pursuant to your earlier ruling at the beginning of the trial.
I'll overrule your objection.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Covington, once again, I'm going to read this out loud and you tell me if I read anything incorrectly. You wrote to Avery Bancroft, just wanted to make sure you two had the right impression, need compelling reasons to break from precedent and give you two, correct?
Yep. It says-
To which Avery Bancroft responds, of course, with 2 exclamation points. Nothing but the best for you, with an exclamation point.
I don't know about the pointing finger, but yeah, that's what it says.
He didn't write nothing but the best for Midlands, did you?
No, it says you.
Your Honor, may I approach and retrieve State's Exhibit?
May. States Exhibit 6 is appended.
Mr. Covington, do you recall having an encounter with Mickey Keenan on April 15th?
I'm sorry, it's so long ago, I don't really remember it.
You don't remember having an encounter with Mickey Keenan?
It's over a year and a half ago, I mean,
But you do remember emailing Avery Bancroft about Mickey Keenan on April 15th, don't you?
if you showed it to me, it might jog my memory.
Your Honor, let the record reflect when approaching opposing counsel, which states proposing to the 7th.
No objections to the authenticity of the document, Your Honor?
May I approach the witness?
May.
Thank you very
And
much.
provide the mentioned copy for reference. Now, just to jog your memory a little bit, Mr. Covington, this is an email exchange between you and Avery Bancroft on April 15th, isn't it?
Yes, I remember.
Fair and accurate
Yes.
representation of that exchange. You recognize the email addresses on this to be your own and Avery Bancroft's.
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to admit proposing to the 7 evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted.
Mr. Covington, I know you testified you don't recall dealing with Mickey Keenan on April 15th, but I'm going to read this out loud and you tell me if I read it incorrectly. You wrote to Avery Bancroft, noon will work. BTW, I think Keenan knows about our call. Something is up. I didn't read that incorrectly, did I?
No, you didn't. I remember meeting with Mickey Keenan now.
Your Honor, may I approach and retrieve?
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Covington, you didn't meet with Avery Bancroft in room 312 of the Black Bear on April 16th, did you?
No, I was running away from that Shannon Stark meeting.
You didn't meet him in his office, did you?
What?
You didn't meet him at your office, did you?
No?
You met him in the VIP room of her casino, didn't you?
Yeah, we've met there quite a few times.
And after you met with Avery Bancroft in the VIP room of her casino, the day after you deposited $200,000 in your checking account,
Yeah, I met with Avery Bancroft on the 16th, I think, and then, yeah, the next day before the vote, I had scraped up my gambling winnings and deposited them.
it was the day of the vote that you made that deposit.
Yes, the 17th, I think so.
Now, you would testify today that you have no reason or motive to accept a bribe, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I love my job.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Covington, but in 2015, you were over $135,000 in debt, weren't you?
Objection, Your Honor. Testifying the facts, not evidence.
Your Honor.
No need. He's asking the question. You may proceed. Overrule.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll repeat my question, Mr. Covington. In 2015, you were over $135,000 in debt, weren't you?
Yeah, I had gone to law school and I have a couple degrees in economics.
You went to law school, you have all these degrees, but the people in Midlands, they pay you, what, $67,000 a year? Is that about right?
Yes, that's why I got into the stock market. Lots of winnings there.
So when you deposited that $200,000, you were depositing about 3 times what you make each year.
Oh yeah, between the gambling that I do and my investment in Chipotle, back when it was only like $20, and now it's $600, I've made tons and tons of cash.
You made that deposit the day you voted for Avery Bancroft.
Oh yeah, I often make large deposits sometimes 2 times a week actually.
And you knew that this vote happened once in every decade, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a rare occurrence.
You knew that you were the swing vote, didn't you?
What?
You knew that you were the swing vote of this casino proposal.
What do you, I'm sorry, can you clarify? I've never heard
It's a
about
simple
swing
yes or no,
vote.
Mr. Covington. Did you or did you not know that you were the swing vote?
I suppose not, because I'm not sure what it means.
So Corey Hyde and Mickey Keenan knew you were the swing vote, but you didn't know you were the swing vote?
You mean between Walt and Geese?
Correct.
No, Walt and Geese, I mean, they're lovely people. I don't think that just, I don't understand how that would make me a swing vote.
Mr. Covington, you knew that nobody in Midlands had ever been allowed in Midlands history to own more than one casino license, didn't you?
Oh yes, we only have a few casinos though.
They had never been allowed to hold more than one casino license.
No.
I have no further question now.
Any feedback?
Yes, Your Honor. Permission to retrieve the emails that were tendered by the prosecution?
That one, the open?
I believe there's a third one, Your Honor. And your permission to approach the witness.
Okay.
Mr. Covington, would you explain which email I handed to?
This is the email that took place on the 13th. It says April 13th on the date, and I sent it to MK.
Okay. And would you mind explaining to us what exactly happened in this email?
Yes, so on that day, it was the day with the napkin. I was incredibly freaked out, so I left. When Avery Bancroft had actually come back and sent me a text saying to come back, and she felt like she had done something wrong, offering me a bribe like that. But she didn't want to have it with Mickey Keenan or Chase Covington. So I came back, we talked over, that's when she brought me the economic calculations for the proposal I talked about earlier. Where then, after I got back to the office, it was probably, I sent the email at 5:07, so I'd say 5 o'clock. Mickey Keenan actually asked me how my day was and how I thought the meeting went. And that's when I asked him if he, so long ago, if I felt everything went well. And I did, so I sent him this email referring to the second meeting, which he had known about.
All right. Permission to approach the witness with another email? Would you mind explaining to the court which email I handed you now?
So it looks like it's a email I sent on April 14th between me, Avery Bancroft, and Corey Hyde.
Now, would you mind telling us what Avery Bancroft said in that email?
She said, of course, nothing but the best for you.
Do you have any idea what Bancroft meant by that?
Well, before that I had stated just wanted to make sure you two had the right impression, meaning, I hope you guys understand that I need a lot of convincing before I can give you second casino a great precedent, because as the other counselor has said, it's never happened before, so I was pretty excited to make history, but I was still a little hesitant. She just replied with, of course, nothing but the best for you. I think she just wanted to make me happy, I guess. Make sure everything was going swell with me.
Well, at this time, Your Honor, we have no further